Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I am in the bathroom getting warmed up. I can't get my body temperature back up, so I got in here and I relayered. I did a polyester blend lounge pants with my bibs. I did a knit top, short sleeve, and this long sleeve shirt. And then I've got my hoodie right here, my hooded jacket right here. And then I'll change and put those my other shoes on because I've got to really go get them girls. That barn's a hot mess, and I want to explain why everything is a mess. Everything, all these bags that are laying all over the place. Well, they were supposed to go right there to the door of the barn in order to kind of build that up for a while until I could get like some gravel up there and put a step there. So I just been putting my bags there because it gets so muddy and soupy, but I have to stand there because of my injury. And so I just kept piling bags. Well, the chickens and the wind and everybody has just made it crazy. So that's why it's all like that. Now, I do need to put new bedding in all of the stalls. So I'm going to go rearrange chickens today up there. So I need to get back up in there. Um, and so it's going to look completely different the next time you see it. I promise. It's not going to be a hot mess like it was because I need to move some hens around and some roosters around and make everybody more comfortable because I don't like the way it's set up there right now. There was a funny story yesterday. One of my Banny hens got stuck under her food bowl. I don't know how long she was stuck under there. All I know is I went in to flip it over and there she was. So I don't know how long she was under there. So I got to change their feeding situation. That scared me. I was like, oh, that poor little baby. I don't know how long she's been under there. The little bannies. I'd really like to have a home for them. But anyway, um, so I'm going to take these and put them in the toes of my other shoes when I go out there because my toes are not getting warm. Um, and it's very important for that circulation in your extremities. So, I bought a bunch of these for pennies at Dollar General clearance one year. I mean, like 2 cases of them. I'm down to 1 case. But these are so handy for so many other things. If you have water bowls that you need, like super super cold days, and your animals need fresh water, and you're not going to be there all day, you can put one of these underneath it, and it will keep it from freezing somewhat. I mean, you know, it's something. It's not an electric heater. It's not putting your cats in the house if they're not inside cats. It's a solution. And I got this from a girl that I worked with, and I was like, wow, really? Okay. So these come in major, major handy. You don't want to lose your toes. You don't want to lose your fingers, and you don't want to be miserable. And your toes being cold and the rest of your body being warm is miserable. And right now my toes are cold. So I'm going to put one of each. I'm going to put one in each shoe for my toes. I want to be comfortable while I'm up in the barn taking care of business. Okay. Something else that I think that you should always have, you can have any kind of source of heat. You can have any kind of source of um, whatever. Now, I really am going to try to find a terracotta pot to make one of these, but I think you should have these on hand at all times. These are the chafing gel things. It has the gel in it that you light. I think you should have them. And if you use this with the terracotta heater warmer design. I've seen it a few times on YouTube and on TikTok, or not TikTok. I don't do TikTok. On Pinterest, I think is where I saw it years and years and years ago. You could use this instead of candles. You could use this instead of some of the other things that they're telling you to use that are a little more dangerous. This is pretty good. Now, as you know, or may not know, this is super flammable. This is just your everyday alcohol gel. Um, you could put this on something that would be a slow burner and it would start that off and keep burning it until it finally got whatever you had wet, or it just wasn't something that wanted to burn, but it was something that would burn for a while. This would be a great starter for fire. Just saying. But I have lots of these. When I first started bringing them home, my husband's like, "What is that? Why?" And I explained it to him. And then one night we were cold. I don't run the furnace. I have not had my furnace on yet this year. It was 61 degrees in the house yesterday, and the husband was looking at it. I was like, nah, not yet, not yet, because we have a propane furnace and a propane stove. We run both off of a huge tank of propane. I get it filled once a year, and like he said, we only used a certain amount, and I only had like 200 and some dollars of the fill up. It's like, wow, that's pretty cool. So I think it's a 52 yearly rental for the tank. We had a lot of problems with that. We had 2 years of free propane because our old tank, they filled it. And when the guy filled it, he even told me, he said, he says, your gauges are wonky, something's not quite right. But I filled it. Well, my husband and I were at work. We worked at the same place. And at that time, we were on the same schedule because he rode with me to work. And we got a call at work from the neighbor freaking out. Our propane was fuming, like it was foaming and all kinds of stuff coming out of it. And so we left work and got back here. I got a hold of them. They emergencied it out. So they brought a new tank. And then I pointed out to them, I said, when he filled it up, he said the gauges were bad, but he was just going to go ahead and fill it up. And they were like, really? And I said, yeah, really. So it was the next day, they were taking the tank out, put the new tank in, filled it up, did not charge us for anything. The next year, I think we got charged for the rental of the new one and free fill up again. And I was like, holy crap. And it might have been there might have been more than two free fill ups over this. We never said a word, but what if someone would have drove by and flicked a cigarette out the window? Oh my God. I was so terrified. You get that call at work and you're like, I've got to be home. That's home. You take care of home. And when you're not home to take care of it when something like that happens, it's a horrible feeling. And I think that might be why a lot of people don't ever want to leave their homes, because that is their security right there. Even though you have to pay for your security by going to work, obviously. But it was horrible. So anyway, there's also this thing where people are saying that they are banning gas stoves. They are not banning gas stoves. I don't like electric stoves. Don't like it. But let me put it to you this way. If I were moving into an apartment, okay? If I were moving into an apartment and I was furnished a stove, a refrigerator, and whatever, I'm going to use it. Okay. I'm not going to complain. I'm going to pay my rent and then I'm going to move somewhere else. Now, they're not going to quit making gas stoves. Okay. They're not going to. They're going to change them. They're going to make them better. I don't like the fact that this stove that we have has an electric igniter. I don't like that. I can bypass that. That's okay. I can bypass the igniter. So I always have a huge heat source and I always have a way to cook. Okay. Electric's out. I can get it. Maybe. I don't know. But I think so. Right? Okay. But here's the deal. If I'm living in an apartment, do I want everybody to have that access to that gas stove if the power goes out? I mean, seriously. But now energy is an issue. So it's about the energy. But think about the safety of it if you're in an apartment building. I'm just saying. There's a lot that can go wrong with electric. I get it. But there's more that can go wrong with gas. Just saying. I mean, when you live in an apartment building, you are having faith that everybody in that building is safe and living a safe life for each other. You're hoping. But in reality is you don't know who the heck lives down the other hallway, do you? No, not normally. All right. So get you some of these. They're no longer going to be $1. They're going to be $1.25, but get you some of these. What a great way. to have a quick heat. Get your terracotta set up. Get one of those terracotta setups. I am going to try to go get some terracotta. And when I went to our hardware store the last time, I almost got one, but I got something else instead. I think I got the tie out for the dog instead. So I just needed an extra cable around just in case of anything, you know, or if I wanted to tie him out of the kennel and not in training, keep him contained. I have not done it yet. It's still in the coil, in the buckets, in the garage, which I'm getting my buckets out today, and we're going to pack a couple of buckets later on this afternoon. Okay. Get a chance, get you some of these, have them on hand. Like I'm getting ready to put them under my toes, like right now when I change my shoes. So that's about it. I've got to go catch chickens, move chickens, and then put fresh bedding down in all of the stalls and figure out what will, hopefully my little Bantam hen is not underneath that feed bowl. That was horrible. Y'all have a great day. Hugs from a distance.